Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Mortgage Watch. I'm Ilan Awerbuch of Unitrust Mortgage in San Diego. We're bringing you news that you can use, economic, financial, and real estate based. Well, the election has come and gone, and we now face a whole new raft of problems. We have people jockeying for ways out of the current economic crisis. The problems are many that we face. The solutions right now are few. There's many voices that continue to shout and be heard with their requests for aid or ways to solve the problem. The Detroit automakers are on the prowl looking for money to help bail them out. Should the government step in and help them, it'll help save a lot of jobs. On the other hand, these are industries that have done a very, very poor job of regulating themselves or moving forward in any way, shape, or form. Should the taxpayers be involved in really keeping entities like this afloat, or is it better to let them go and see what else can be done? The Treasury Secretary, Henry Paulson, wants to keep helping banks, but instead of buying troubled assets, which was the original motive for the bailout fund that was created by Congress, he now wants to keep putting liquidity into banks and other concerns by buying stakes in them. Now, these are shares in the company, but they're protected shares, they're warrants. So if the companies failed, the government, i.e. the taxpayer's share, would not be wiped out. It would continue because there's always value in these companies if they should fail. The FDIC chairwoman, Sheila Blair, and that's the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, wants to help homeowners. Her strong rallying cry is that mortgage companies need to do more to modify home loans. She has taken the lead by doing that at the bank that FDIC currently runs, IndyMac Bank, and they've been offering to help modify loans to payments that the homeowners can afford. Her rationale, which I agree with, is it's better to be making 1 or 2% or 3% on loans than for a lender to take back the entire property and lose 40 to 60% of the loan in the foreclosure process. At least if they modify the loan to a homeowner who's able to make the reduced payment, there's an income stream and the asset is going to be protected, which is the bottom line, seeing us through this current crisis. The government launched a new program called Help for Homeowners, but unfortunately only 42 people applied in the first 2 weeks of the program. This is another attempt to work out ways in which loans can be modified, but these are very, very tough sells. Most of the lenders and investors do not want to reduce any potential share they have in the loan, and the Help for Homeowners requires them to drop about 10% of the value of the loan. They're hanging on, thinking that they can make it by foreclosing on loans. I'm not really sure what they're thinking about this situation, because honestly, if you take back a home and you lose 40 to 60% of the value of your loan, you can never recoup that. Makes a lot more sense to find out what reasonable payment the borrower can make and modify the loan terms to that, at least for several years, to see everyone through this crisis. We're not expecting them to take a zero payment, but most homeowners are able to make some level of payment, maybe just not the payment that the loan has been inflated to. As you know, many adjustable rate loans or the famous 2-year fixed loans have adjusted, and homeowners find themselves in interest rates that are 2 to 5% higher than when they started. That'd be very hard for anyone to make. Most banks are trying to retain capital because that's a key component of their ability to stay in business, is their liquidity. So they're pulling back on lending, and they're not making as many loans as they are. This was supposed to be the reason that the government was taking the equity position in banks to allow them to make more loans. But they're running scared, so they don't want to make these loans. The entire lending platform has really shrunk. Some might say collapsed. There's only a fraction of the loan programs available out there. I shudder to think what a very, very good credit quality, high net worth borrower who stated their income has available to them, because there's very little out there. It's really a shame that we're not able to get something together and improve the lending environment by injecting capital into the banks. President-elect Obama is respectfully waiting in the sidelines while President Bush goes about the business of quote-unquote ruling until he ends his term. The only problem is that President Bush has a 20% approval rating, so only 1 out of 5 people are putting any stock into what he says at all. Things may get worse before they really get better. And as we approach the holiday season, it seems to me that Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and any other holidays may actually be better to be put off a few weeks so that there's good cheer to share with them in 2009, because it seems that the holiday season of 2008 is going to be a very, very tough season for most people. What we need here is a unifying, rallying voice to give people hope. I think that we'll hear that come January 20th and the inauguration of President-elect Obama. I think it's more important that he share and get people excited, motivated, and willing to buy into a common vision than the actual specifics. Those specifics will come. What we have right now is too many voices from all directions being involved in what's going on. During the 1930s and the Great Depression, President Roosevelt and Congress pretty much had one voice. There was some opposing points of view and so on, but a lot of action was taken. It seems that when people are against the wall, then dissension doesn't have a lot of room because everyone's got to get it together and move in one direction. So it tells us that things aren't that bad yet because there's still a lot of dissension and a lot of different voices as to what should be done. Hopefully, people will come to their realization and come to speak with one mind or at least one unity before things get really, really bad and we're forced to think that way. Next week, Thanksgiving is coming up, and although many people are struggling going through tough times, we still, most of us, have so much to be thankful for. We have it better than 99% plus of people in the world. And so even though there are people struggling and times are hard, there is a lot to be grateful for. I'd like to suggest that everyone take up the practice of practicing gratitude. That means being grateful and giving thanks for everything that you've been given, everything that we've been given, that I've been given as Americans in this country. By and large, the rest of the world is struggling many, many times worse fate than we are here. So if you can see to it to practice gratitude over the next couple of weeks, that is, be thankful, grateful, and appreciative for everything you have, everything you've been given, big, small, and in between, I think it'll make it an amazing holiday season. If you share this feeling and this practice with your friends, your family, and loved ones, I think you'll be amazed, and I think it'll be an amazing holiday season. Why don't you let me know how it goes? You can email me through our website at unitrustmortgage.com and let me know how this practice went for you. I think you'll find that whatever your situation, you realize how many good things you do have in your life. Well, that's about it for this week. We'll tune in with you next week when we bring you another round of Mortgage Watch, which is mortgage, financial, and real estate news that you can use. I'm Ilan Awerbuch of Unitrust Mortgage in San Diego, wishing you a great week and a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.